there's a story, and I don't think I've heard it from people inside the business, just others. Did you used to drink beer with the crowds after shows? Was that something you used to do? You go in the ring and just drink more? Because, by the way, before we get to that, your catch percentage had to be 100% there for because those beers are coming out. You used to snag those. Now, granted, you missed one or two, I think, whenever you came back with the new IPAs. I think you missed one or two, which was shocking, I will say. But back in the day, you might have been the most shorthand catcher on earth at that point with those beers flying in.
Yeah, I was a running back in high school, and then in junior college, they moved me to linebacker. In North Texas, they moved me to defensive end. I always thought I would have made a little bit of an undersized at 6'2", 220 in my college days, maybe a little bit undersized as a tight end. But god dang, I could catch a football and I could damn sure catch a beer. And shit, man, if someone's going to throw you beers and that's part of your job, make damn sure you catch them. But there wasn't too many I dropped. And I'll give a shout out to the bell ringer, the timekeeper, Mark Yeaton. He was the guy who would launch those beers. And sometimes, I'd be in the ring and he'd be launching them, and I'd be over in different parts of the ring. And he had one of the best arms ever. And sometimes I'd be way across the ring, damn near up on the ramp, and I'd give him the signal, and he'd kind of shake me off like, I don't know if I should throw it. I said, no, motherfucker, if I signal it, you throw it. And so he would launch him, and goddamn, if I didn't catch it, that thing was careen off my hand and hit somebody in the head. So, the stakes were high. I used to tell people towards the end, man, shit, I was drinking for a living, get paid for drinking. I was getting paid to drink for a living and wrestling on the side.
Anytime. I mean, we watched your best of earlier. There's like 10 of them on YouTube. Yeah. We watched them this morning. The moments where you would come in, not say a word, obviously, like you would stun somebody, they were dead, then beers. It's just like, let's play the hits here. That's basically what it was. Glass break, stunner, beers, out. It was just, what a night.
One time, a lot of times we would do that at TV taping just because the crowd was there and they'd crash the music and I'd go back down. Maybe, I'd already done an interview or wrestled a match, and I'd go out there just to entertain the crowd, just to, make sure they came back happy. And one time I just kept staying out there, somewhere in New York, somewhere, where the union was involved. And finally I went in, and Vince called me to his office the next day, and he goes, "God damn, Steve." He goes, "You cost me $14,000 extra last night. Overtime on the crew." So he's calling me out. He goes, "I just cost him 14 extra G's just for that crew to stay overtime." And so I'm like, "I'll split it with you." He goes, "God damn." He goes, "I don't want your money. I'm just telling you." He goes, "Come on in a little bit earlier." We used to do that shit all the time. And towards the end, Kevin Dunn in the truck, he'd finally just get on the horn to the house. He'd go, "Steve, come on in." So that's how we rolled back in the day, man. We're going to give you your money's worth.
So what did you do? The show's over. Okay, now the fans are still there. Glass would break one more time. Normally there's a dark match afterwards between two people you don't know. But your glass would break. Somebody would get a stunner or two. And then you would just go corner to corner, 2 beers. And your beer guy would just be, did he have 30? What's the most beer you did in one night, you think, of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. The Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, "Oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer." It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out there. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. By the way, we in your honor, probably should have asked, I guess, but there was no way I could have got a hold of you to this. We had Stone Cold season where we were trying to promote all of our followers. Instead of drinking beers, just go ahead and Stone Cold every beer that you have. And there's a lot of people that didn't know what the fuck they were doing, to be honest with you, but I feel like that Stone Colding, it still is making another run too, just like everything else for you. So congrats on all that, man.
Oh man, it's been great.
When did you
And,
start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember. And it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, "Yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head." No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it, and it worked great. And so all these years later, people still doing it. And I guess Stone Cold in a beer is a thing now.
Oh yeah.
But people have been drinking beer for hundreds and thousands of years. So hell, I'm proud of the fact that I got my own beer to drink. Because tonight I've been I just got finished filming my show, Straight Up Steve Austin, and we were lucky to get that in the can because of COVID. So that's going to season premiere on January 11th on USA after Raw. But I had to get in shape for that show, and I dropped. When COVID first hit, I got that COVID-15 like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But I was drinking margaritas and drinking beers and shit like that, so I got all tuned up. I went down to 230, Pat.
Oh.
I ain't been 230 since I was in college. So now that I'm kind of at a relaxed state, I'm going to be banging them some bitches together, and I'm going to be crushing a few Broken Skull IPAs tonight.
Yeah, as you should for your birthday, by the way. Happy birthday.